The next one, whoever fasts on Ramadan and stands its night in prayer, believing in God's promise and sincerely, all his past sins will be forgiven. So I've mentioned this, I've highlighted this. The main acts in Ramadan is standing in prayer and fasting. Let's get to a bit of a legal issue then. Tarawih. Okay, how many Rak'ahs is it and so forth. This year it becomes even more of an issue because and when we look at in the next one about when Fajr comes in as well, so it becomes, because some mosques we say they're still adamant on completing the Quran in Ramadan and Tarawih, but it actually ends up depending on when Fajr comes in, because there's a whole debate and we're going to a bit more about that. If we go according to one opinion, it actually goes into the Fajr time. And so the most important thing is you don't push, you do it a little bit extra in Ramadan, but you don't burn yourself out. That's really, really important that you pace yourself. And so Tarawih, well, generally what we do in Keighley, we've got a range of people at mosques doing different things. So some mosques do the full Quran, other mosques do literally 3 verses in each rak'ah so that people can do the 20. Okay, and so that I think every community should definitely have that option for people, because some people it's very difficult. And in Syria I heard that they have that, and in Turkey when I was in Istanbul they did that as well. So I think communities should always provide that. There should be someone providing a service where the Tarawih is very short for people, so they're able to get everything in and get some sleep as well. But do you have to pray the full 20? Well, that's a controversial issue, isn't it? So the legal position is that in the Hanafi school they say it's a sunnah mu'akkada to pray Tarawih and to pray the all 20. But the thing is, you've got to understand that what's sunnah mu'akkada mean? Sunnah mu'akkada, what does it mean, a sunnah mu'akkada, emphasise sunnah? What's that legally mean?
That's something that Prophet did on the most regular basis. Yeah,
but that's one side of the definition, but there's another, more from a legal point of view. What does it mean? Well, it's not a wajib, even though our community see it as wajib. What's it mean, a sunnah mu'akkada? It means an act that you shouldn't leave out lazily, and you shouldn't make the habit. So you should, if you've got the opportunity to do it and you just say I can't be bothered, and you make a habit of doing that, that's when it becomes blameworthy. Okay, but if you leave it because there's a reason you're leaving it, so I'll give you a classic situation. You're at work, you've only got a 10-minute break, and you've got Dhuhr to pray, and if you take the mickey and pray your 4 sunnahs, your 4 fard and your 2 sunnahs after in that time, you're going to go over the 10 minutes. It's going to cause you problems with the boss, and it's going to have ramifications. Do you have to pray your sunnahs? No, you don't, because you're not leaving them out of laziness. You're leaving them because you've got a reason to. I've got a very short time. It's far better you do a prayer with focus. You ram out, my 4 sunnahs, 4 fards and 2 sunnahs. Just do 4, get it within 10 minutes with composure instead of stressing yourself, and there you go. There's no sin in that whatsoever. And so that's the Hanafi position on that. And so when we look at Tarawih in this time of the year, if you're exhausted, you don't have to pray to full 20. Okay, if you got home, and so it's really important you don't burn yourself out. You've got to understand how exhausting Ramadan will be for some people, and so pace yourself. Either really shorten them, or just pray a few with focus is much better. Because the other schools, they have the position that yes, the optimum is to pray 20, but there's still reward even if you pray 2. Okay, in the Maliki school and the Shafi'is they have this, and so just do that. Do what you're able to do. So don't make a big issue out of this. If you pray in the mosque and they only pray 8 or something, just pray the 8 and come home, and if you want to pray the 20, pray the 20. But if you're exhausted, you're exhausted. Don't beat yourself up. That's a big problem we have in Ramadan. People feel like, so spiritually motivated, and then they spend the other thing. They spend the first motivated, Ramadan. They spend the second half of Ramadan depressed about how they didn't take advantage of it. Now that's just it defeats the purpose. Just say Alhamdulillah, I've achieved what I can achieve. And I focus more on avoiding things in that situation rather than when I'm not doing enough. Okay, I think that's very, very important.
Is it still considered Tarawih if you don't read the 20?
Yeah, with the other schools they will, and it's perfectly permissible for you to take that position in this, especially in this time of year, is to take that. And I said, if you're leaving it because you're tired, there's no sin in it whatsoever. So just take another position where you're praying 2s, accepting. You've got that reward. It makes you feel good. Yeah, you still got it. And so now, what about, which I'll come to more detail later, people who have got children who've got school next day, the elderly, people who've got work early in the morning, postmen and so forth like that. Yeah, you leave, unless you're able to. I recommend you, and we look at this about the Isha and Maghrib times, is they basically pray and get some sleep. So you can leave Tarawih there, because you're not leaving out of laziness. You're leaving it with a legitimate reason, and there's no sin in that for leaving something with a legitimate reason. No matter how guilty your parents or your family might make you feel, you know what you can. You've got to know what you can take on.